been waiting for this.
You are now listening to Digital Suplex Radio.
Oh man, we're back. Back again, you know what I'm saying? Had a couple setbacks, but guess what? It's time for a comeback. Ladies and gentlemen, it's me, Darion, joined by my co-host, Shane, who is alive and well. Shane, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. I had a bout with COVID for a little bit there. It was not horrible, was not awesome either, but it's real, and yeah, it sucks. But yeah. I'm on the come up. I'm back. I'm out here again. So let's do it. You know.
Yeah. So you know, during that time, you were still keeping up with wrestling and everything, like the news and everything going on, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah, me too. I've been kind of in and out of it, but you know, we're gonna in this podcast we're gonna be recapping Fyter Fest week 1. I think there's week 2 next week, which we're gonna get into
the
as
week
well.
1 and week 2 thing.
But there's a few little lingering headlines we wanted to touch on first before we get into the show. And the first one, I guess we can start off with the Jordyn Grace random ass Benoit tweet. This might be a little old by the time we talk about it, but I just realized that we never really.
It was like last week, I think.
It was like last week. And then I realized that we never really touched on the Benoit situation, like Shane said before the show. Like, it's never really came up. It ain't really have no reason to come up. And that ties into the first story. What the hell wrong with Jordyn Grace? Did she have a bad night? Did they run out of the Baja Blast at Taco Bell and she was just pissed?
So it was like a quote tweet, right? She quote tweeted someone because their tweet was talking about how in wrestling, Chris Benoit is like the only person that you have to like preface with when you say like, well, I'm a huge fan of his work, but, and like, it was something along those lines. And like, the tweet was kind of going over just the really complicated relationship between like the artistic output of, you know, I mean, if you want to call wrestling an art, that's, you know, a whole other conversation, but, you know, like the art, you know, the art and the artist, you know, it's an old conversation that people tend to bring up all the time. Anytime it turns out that one of your favorite makers of anything, you know, was beating on some women or had someone killed or was, you know, assaulting people, like, you know what I mean? And like, you have to like, well, what do we do now? And so like, there was that tweet. I can't, if you can find it, you can probably flash it on the screen whenever if you find it. But yeah, it was that tweet. And then so Jordyn Grace had said, well, first of all, what annoyed me about this is because what she said was, this is the coldest take
it's supposed to be the hottest take. It's supposed to be
because cold take means it's nothing controversial. That's you know, that's a whole other thing. But I was
already starting off rough.
Already starting off like, okay, like get the terminology right. Like this is what this is. And so she basically said that he couldn't go with like today's indie workers and for him to burn in hell.
Yeah. Whoa.
Make you burn in hell.
Whoa, and that's the part, bro. You gotta think. Jordyn Grace, you gotta think you're a champion now. So now you gotta think all your words have some weight to them, and just like that's just so hateful. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Chris Benoit's son is still alive. You know what I mean? Like, why would you like? I guess she was prompted by another tweet or something like that. I understand that. But I don't know. This seems like something you tweet when you're in like a bad mood. Like to say that Chris, if you were a fan of wrestling, of course we can separate the art from the artist, and you know.
I mean, if you're an adult, you kind of know how to like work through that pretty easily. It's not too much of a moral compromise. I don't think you have to make. You can use your judgment.
But everybody knows if you're a wrestling fan that Chris Benoit was one of the greatest wrestlers of all time.
Oh, he really was. No, he really was.
I stopped playing. You know what I mean? So
stop playing. And here's the thing, Chris Benoit murdered his family. He did do that. He 100% did that. That's what I'll say. Yeah, that it is what it is. That's unforgivable. Like fuck that dude. You know, whatever. But like, let's be honest. I mean, like we've seen today's indie product. With all of the spots and the flips and
off the rope,
this, that, and the other, and like none of it's like breaking any new ground.
Yeah, exactly.
Chris Benoit's generation of wrestlers and Benoit, like himself, like
he laid the foundation, brother.
Yeah, people like him, Guerrero, Malenko. Like, what can a smaller wrestler do?
Oh yeah, true.
It pushed wrestling forward. Like it created like a whole new style of wrestling that, is very foundational and is, a reason we have the wrestlers we have today. Some like, like in a lot of the ones we would consider the best. And like, we would consider, are going to be legends one day, or because they were growing up watching Benoit.
For real. Yeah. And then I just think it's just a very classless suite. And then I just wanted to follow that up with, of course, here comes the apology. And then she went on live with, Daniel Benoit and stuff like that. And it was just like, none of this would have... David, I'm sorry, my bad. Daniel, rest in peace, Daniel.
Yeah, R.I.P., man.
But, that's tough to think about. But,
yeah, it's hard.
And then she raised money for the CTE Foundation and stuff like that, because I think she had a shot. She threw a shout out about CTE, and that he couldn't.
Yeah. It was like it was all in that too. Yeah.
So all of that could have been avoided, and this is just a lesson learned. And if you just keep your thoughts to yourself, maybe think twice before pressing send, then I think you might have a better. Because
even like the apology thing itself too, like that was another layer that was just like, oh God, Jesus Christ, like I don't know, like that was two things that were just like, how do you like you couldn't like make you couldn't like make the I don't know like come out with that with the worst conclusion. Like that's the worst conclusion you come out with is I don't know. She was on one, and then like it opened up again Chris Benoit discourse, which happens every so often on wrestling Twitter, because everyone's got to come out and talk about, well, here's my memories and my feelings. I'm like I don't really give a shit, but whatever. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You really don't have to do it.
Yeah,
you don't have to do it. Like, well, this is what it means to me, and it's like,
yeah. Did you guys forget what happened?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Nah.
But yeah, all in all, just fuck, man. It's always tough to talk about. When you talk about
it's not hard to hold multiple truths, even if they are contradicting. Like it's a reality that you have to deal with. Like if you're an adult who knows how to like work through contradicting like statements and understand that two things are simultaneously true and like one doesn't negate the other, and you can like come away with that with a very mature like understanding and how to navigate these things instead, then like you're gonna have an easier time. But like people have like they have to take these like really intense black and white moral stands on one end or the other and completely miss the entire point and completely miss the point of what we're supposed to learn from all of this. And that's just people be dumb, man. People are just dumb. Let's just put it that way.
I hate to toot our own horn, Shane, but I think we are some of the most level-headed like wrestling commentators, even though we're not that well known. I think we're one of the most level-headed ones, because it's like we don't take like no extreme sides. Like we always play devil's advocate. We always like, you know what I mean? Like it don't have to be black and white. You know what I mean?
It really doesn't, because the world isn't like that, and like it's just trying to be honest with yourself, and like there's nothing wrong with that. Like you don't try to be a hero or some shit, like, and kind of have the take, like this is the take to end all takes.
Yeah.
And this is the side you come on, or you're a piece of shit. And it's like
yeah, bro, like yeah. And I just think that's because we in our humble shit, but wait till we get
I can't wait to forget where we came from when this blows up. I will 100% completely sell out. I will chill. I will, I will forget my roots entirely.
I'll be 100%. like Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon is a Chad. Nah, just completely change your stance on everything. Nah, but look, we can get into that though, because your boy's at it again, and it's just like he's not even at it again. It's just like more has came out.
He's been at it, and people are finally like,
oh, maybe he is a piece of shit.
Let's see if we can actually report on this and see if like something can change.
Bro,
this ain't new. Because like the only like the newest one was the 2019 hush money thing where you paid the $3 million, and then it came out that over the last 16 years, I believe, you paid up a total of $12 million to four different women.
More than what he paid for WCW.
Yeah, more than you paid for
Woo. That's some simping action.
To cover up, it's basically get him to sign NDAs for sexual misconduct allegations.
What the fuck?
Yeah, like what the fuck? And and this is like, I mean, the history tracks because like the Rita Chatterton story is blowing up again.
You said something about
the female ref in the 80s.
You said that before the story came out.
Yeah, because that was another thing, and like because people have been talking about that for years, like in the dirt sheets and stuff. And like if you can go and like watch like those shoot videos that wrestlers do, they're like shoot interviews. A lot of wrestlers will talk about that, and they'll talk about like kind of being like, oh yeah, we always are hearing about that, and like we were like, if you fuck with Vince, like that's. Yeah, and like and they're male wrestlers in the 80s, so like they're kind of they're all kind of dumb a little bit. They kind of come away with the wrong takes on it, but like
the boys.
Yeah, the boys and all that mentality and stuff like that. But
I shit in their bags.
Yeah.
What the fuck, bro?
Yeah. But yeah, like all this is coming out again, and Vince McMahon's response has just been to like just put on the show, and hopefully if everyone forgets like they have been before. I guess.
Let me say this before I forget. Okay, so shout out to everybody that follows us on TikTok. I say that every time. Did you see our first couple of like hater comments where they were like, Vince McMahon's a good person, bro. Show me where Vince McMahon's a rapist. And I'm like, bro, just do a Google search, bro. You will find everything you need to know. Look up some shoot interviews, bro. Look up some recent news
and he's articles. Like, where's your evidence? Where's your evidence? Like, first of all, here's my question. What do you constitute as evidence? Because like I can show you the reports, the interviews, all of that, but I do that, and it's like, well, actually, here's why. That's this person said it didn't happen, so nice try again. It's like, what do you think is evidence? Like, do you want people to show you the scars or something? Do you want them to have like physical like residue on their bodies for 40 fucking years? Like, what do you constitute as evidence? Like people don't even know what they mean when they say that. Like, show me the evidence. Like, you don't even know what you consider evidence.
Yeah.
Like, you don't. Like,
I really hope. I was about to say, I really hope Vince McMahon sees this, bro. Because I don't the defending the billionaire rapist guy, bro. Like, it's like, kind of lame, bro.
Jesus Christ, and like. And the fact that like many people are corroborating the story, people with nothing really to gain out of all of this. You know what I mean? Like they're not really going to gain much other than like, and they have to relive all their fucking trauma for the world to see, just for them to be called liars.
There you go.
Like there's all this shit. And it's like with sexual assault stuff, that's like, in terms of like what you consider evidence, whether or not it really happened, it's really hard to like prove in that sense. Like you're really relying on a lot of testimony, you're like on a lot of like alibis, like you're trying to piece together the facts, the story. Like it's all about seeing if these stories are consistent with any sort of patterns, and that's how you kind of really get down to like the behaviors of these like powerful men who are using their status, using their power, their money to get things over women, and like or men, or anyone really, just using power over people to gain something over them, because at the end of the day, like you hold their livelihood in your hands. Like that's a huge power imbalance. Like you can't really, even if like you consent, like it's really murky, because like you're influenced by an imbalance there. Like
you're influenced by like a reward that you can't gain yourself, but that you can instantly gain in 1 second from the guy that has control over the whole situation.
And then you have a typical choice to make, and like, and it's tough, and I don't judge anyone for making the choices they make in that regard, but I definitely judge, people in power that are, wielding it over people to get what they want out of them. And then once they get what they want, or if they don't get what they want, in Rita Chatterton's, with the Rita Chatterton case, like, he, was trying to rape her and stuff, and like she wasn't gonna do what he wanted her to do. And what happened? She got fired. Like after that, like that's the point. That's the problem. And now more of these stories are coming out, and like people have always corroborated this stuff. Like people have always been saying this about Vince for years. That many people don't just keep saying this shit about you. Unless you are doing some shit.
It's not a coincidence,
Like if you're not doing shit, like you're probably not. They're not really going to see all of that. Like if this many people are coming after people that don't even have that much to gain, people that are like have already been ousted by the company and like aren't coming back, and then what happens? And a lot of them, they go on to have all these stars, and like in the Ashley Massaro case, like all of that time in the industry and like what she went through fucked up her like her mental health, along with whatever else she was going through, and then she took her own life because and like that had something to do with it, and like that's not just making shit up, or where's your evidence, man? Where's your like? What do you want? Like, what evidence do you want?
Yeah.
What do I have to show you to be like, oh, that's evidence? Like, do you want to see a tear on a shirt or something?
Yeah,
like,
Do you want the DNA? Do you want the fingerprints?
We want you want me to harvest the DNA somewhere so we can prove, like, look, this is like that. Because and people like that aren't. I mean, they aren't being sincere. They're all in bad faith. Like they don't
just
care.
want their point to be. They just want to be right. You know, they don't want any chance for them to be proven wrong, because they know damn well you can't scrape up no evidence. Like, well, you can if you, like I said, if you look up reports and articles and shit, like, or listen to the podcast. Make sure you guys rate 5 stars.
Yeah, listen to the show. You know, we have sources if you want to ask us. We probably won't to tell you though, because you're an adult.
You have a phone, goddammit. You can look on your goddamn phone.
It's in the news now. All you have to do is Google Vince McMahon. The first like 4 or 5 news articles are going to have the story and links to other stories from, you know, the sources that they provide in those stories. So like, you know, it's, you know, be big boys and girls and our non-binary pals out there, and, you know, and look it up.
That's some evidence for your ass. But anyway, so all that's out the way, man. Let's go and get into the show.
Yeah,
man. We're gonna talk about this.
The shit that we like about wrestling.
Yeah, you know, Fyter Fest was cool. Fyter Fest was cool. Like, first of all, why the fuck are they still calling it Fyter Fest? Because that was like a thing they did for like 1 year, and I think they should probably start calling it something else. I know it
was before Dynamite even started. It was like when they were just doing like those specials after Double or Nothing, just to kind of like build up to their weekly TV. So it was like Fyter Fest, Fight for the Fallen, just like those little like mini pay-per-view
mini events kind of thing.
Kinda, yeah. Like those just kind of live events that they, you know, put on pay-per-view or Bleacher Report or whatever. Yeah, I don't know why they still call it Fyter Fest. I don't know.
Fyter Fest.
I feel like they do those like special Dynamites way too much.
I think so too, because this is just a regular Dynamite. It's just a regular Dynamite.
Yeah, because that's all it is. I guess it's, you know, just for marketing purposes.
You know what I might think? I think they do that so that way it'll be easier to identify what happened on a certain episode, where it's like, oh yeah, in Fyter Fest 2022, but nothing. Oh well, nah, something did kind of happen this episode.
I mean, it was a good show. It was a great show.
Yeah,
I really liked it. No, I'm not. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'll dunk on the gimmick, you know, all day, but like the show was great. Like the matches were awesome. I thought it was a great show. Some big swerves happened. You know, we did not see coming.
That was a big ass swerve, but
that was a big swerve.
We're gonna get to it. And I was gonna say we don't have to go like thing by thing, because I kind of forgot what the fuck happened.
The highlights, because there was some stuff that I just did not pay attention to.
What happened first? Oh, okay. So look, this is what I want to talk about. I feel like I always dunk on Orange Cassidy every time I come on this hoe. I like Orange Cassidy, bro.
Yeah, you always say that you do like him, though. You always say that.
I like him, but it's just, why would you put him in a TNT championship match after they were like building up Wardlow these whole entire couple months, build up Wardlow, and you're gonna do a face match against Orange Cassidy? Why?
It was fun.
It was a fun match. It was fun.
They pulled out a chainsaw. That's hilarious.
That was funny. He's like, nah, you can't use this shit.
Like, I appreciate. I do see your point. I see your point. I respect your point. Totally valid. I do think though they booked that the way it needed to be booked.
It was fun.
Justify the matchup, because we saw it and we're like, well, we know realistically what would happen, but Orange Cassidy, like they're still kind of big on Orange Cassidy in terms of, you know, trying to book him strong, like the way that he can be presented. Because I know Tony Khan's real big on Orange Cassidy, like dressed up for him, like as him for Halloween, for God's sake. So corny. So like Tony Khan really loves Orange Cassidy. Yeah, he really puts Orange Cassidy in a lot of really big positions, and that's pretty cool, I guess. So like it was funny. I thought it was that, you know. I think it worked. But I do think you could argue that, like, does Wardlow need to be in a match like that with Orange Cassidy? Like, especially because he just won the title. That's his first defense.
Yeah, that's
his first defense. Yeah.
I don't know who else they could have. Maybe like Max Caster or somebody. I don't know. Like maybe like another.
But I also do think they're like right now with Wardlow, they're just let him just kick everyone's ass. I don't know if they're like, you know, really giving him like, how do we can really test Wardlow? Because even with like the big test that he's gotten, like, cause like, you know, when he during like, I guess it was the MJF feud. When like, you know, MJF was bringing out like his giants, you know, to like try to get to Wardlow. Those matches still like Wardlow dominated pretty decisively, even with like against bigger dudes. So like he hasn't really been tested yet. Like he's just mostly been dominating everyone,
which is cool.
Cool. Yeah. So I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was a fun opener. I thought it was fun. I like best friends, like just doing everything possible to distract him, distract the ref, like, get one over. And I thought some of the spot, I thought, he put the straps back on him after Wardlow tore out his pockets. He put his straps on him. That was funny. Danhausen was under the ring,
Yeah, he tried to curse him, but he's like, "No, I'm not going to curse him. I'm not going to."
No, I think, yeah, I get your point, and I see, I really do see it. I think I wasn't as upset about it, maybe, as you were.
Man, I'm just a party pooping bastard, man. That's all I am. I'm just a party pooping bastard. What was I forgot what was next. I think the Jon Moxley match happened.
It was the AEW interim eliminator.
But everybody's dogging on
Konosuke Takeshita.
Yeah,
and Jon Moxley.
Yeah, everybody's dogging on Jon Moxley because they think Jon Moxley lame. I've seen some reports
say,
or like little comments that say Jon Moxley lame. Jon Moxley cool, he okay. I just feel like the whole CM Punk situation is unfortunate. It would be cool to see. But the big thing about that is that we're gonna see CM Punk versus Jon Moxley, which is gonna be
that's gonna be a great fucking storyline.
That's gonna be sick.
Because they're both great characters. They both know how to like really sell a match, both on the mic and in the ring. And especially with, Jon Moxley, doing the Blackpool Combat Club thing, violent pro wrestling, and CM Punk, trying to like rekindling his love for pro wrestling. Mm-hmm. I think there's a real good matchup there, and like the history in WWE. There's a real story to be told there. So like that's cool because I feel like that's always been inevitable. He was always going to fight Jon Moxley at some point. Like they were going to collide at some point once CM Punk got back. Mm-hmm. So that is there is a silver lining there, and I think and I like Konosuke Takeshita. I think he's a great wrestler.
Yeah,
he's put on some really kick-ass matches. I loved his match with Eddie Kingston on Rampage from a week ago. That was rad. No, I like this match. I thought it was great. Takeshita, did some bleeding. He juiced a little bit, showed some color.
Yeah,
that was rad. And Jon Moxley hit the Death Rider, which is the elevated paradigm shift.
Yeah.
Give it a little more oomph.
Yeah.
What he calls it in New Japan.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think this is the right thing to do. Just keep on having Jon Moxley win. Because is he in any storylines?
Not really primarily. No, he doesn't really, because like with the Eddie Kingston thing, like he was just kind of like Eddie Kingston's backup with his feud for Jericho. Mm-hmm. So like the Blackpool Combat Club was mostly just supporting Eddie Kingston. So they were kind of like supporting players in Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho's main feud.
Right.
But he's not in like any. I don't think he's in like any big main storylines. So he's just kicking ass basically at this point.
That's cool.
And that's cool. Like I love like last week I loved his match with Brody King. I thought that was a great championship match.
Yeah,
Brody King's the bomb, man. He's awesome.
I know you were hyped when he choked out Darby Allin and won that battle royal. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, because he did like snapped his neck like that. And, like I was like, that's fucking cold.
Yeah.
And I love how like quick he is, like how much like acceleration he has, and like for being a big dude.
Yeah.
Like when he hits those cannonball sentons like in the corner, goddamn.
Yeah.
Like how do you not kill a man, with that. But no, that was a great match. But they had a good match, Takeshita and Moxley, because it wasn't for the title. It was like if Konosuke won, he would get a shot at the title.
Eliminator.
Yeah, because he lost with Eddie Kingston. So like Tony Khan didn't want to like, do like sloppy booking and just like, well, how do you lose that and get a championship shot if he didn't? Because he, for all of his faults, Tony Khan does try to. I think he's pretty conscious about how he books. I do like that.
He's good about making stuff make sense, though.
Like, especially like matchups. Like he makes matchups make sense. He doesn't just pull stuff out of his ass like the WWE and just like, whatever. Like the past actually matters in AEW.
Yeah, and that's awesome. That rewards the viewers too.
Yeah, for sure. So that was cool. I think after that,
go ahead.
What we have, I think there was like a Thunder Rosa segment.
Bless her heart. She lost overseas. How do you feel about that?
So I watched that match. It was a great match.
Okay.
I I'm not sure because it was also the same conditions that the Moxie match that was just before this happened.
Eliminator match.
Yeah, if Miyu Yamashita won, she would get a future shot at the title. I didn't like that she lost, but the way that she lost made it a little more bearable.
Okay.
So I think like if they're gonna have her lose that match, comes with the title, loses, I think it should definitely be one of those things where it's like it's not so much somebody lost, it's just this person just kind of won. Like any of them could have won at any second, and it was just like gravity that like caused one person to win over the other, because that's all it was, like this struggle and this roll up. And Yamashita just kind of got the final edge and got her shoulders down. So it wasn't like this real decisive, like, I just beat your fucking ass in this ring. It was very much like a struggle to the very, very last second, which I can appreciate. Okay. And I do like the idea of Miyu Yamashita having a title shot. Like, that's going to be a great match because she's fucking awesome. You know, she's like the ace of Tokyo Joshi Pro, which is a great promotion for all those who may not know. It's a, if you got like, it's only like $6, you can get it for the stream, the app Wrestling Universe.
$6? Ooh, pushing the pockets a little bit.
And it's like, it's DDT, it's Noah, Tokyo Joshi Pro.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, because like DDT, like they own Pro Wrestling Noah now, and like Tokyo Joshi Pro is their women's promotion. So that's rad. No, because it was a good match, and I love the Japanese style. I love the Japanese presentation. I like the emphasis on making the in-ring work really stand out and like making that the highlight. So it was cool. So I don't like that she lost, but I do think at the end of the day, like the way they did it, I'm okay with. And I was always going to be okay with them actually fighting for the title. And I guess, I don't know, I don't know how, like, I guess they could have done like an eliminator with 2 Japanese talent and said the winner goes on to face Thunder Rosa. But if they're going to, try to showcase AEW talent overseas like that, then, I don't know. I don't know what other ways I would have done it differently. I don't know, because I don't see
Tony Khan sending over male talent overseas unless he's Pac, who's defending the All Atlantic Championship. I don't see him sending out Jon Moxley and having Jon Moxley lose in NJP.
Well, yeah,
that's
the
only thing I say. That's the only thing I say.
Yeah.
Maybe
because like when he sent Wheeler Yuta to New Japan for Best of the Super Juniors, and like he didn't win. Because it was that's a round robin tournament, so he had some good matches with people.
Yeah,
so that was cool. But yeah, and I guess it was tough too because Miyu Yamashita is also Tokyo Joshi Pro's ace. So you have the top woman in AEW, at least ostensibly, with the championship, and then the top performer in terms of the face of the company fighting like that. And so for an eliminator match, I don't know, like that's a tough match to book, I think, because it's not for the title. It's for a shot at the title, but you want your ace to like get a shot, and like I don't know, that's a tough one, I think.
Yeah,
that was probably not an easy one to book, I don't think.
Yeah, but
I do like that it was like even the entire time, like no one had like a clear edge, like they were both just kicking each other, like they were just kicking ass back and forth, and it was just like a small window that separated that, because like it was a shock ending, like no one saw that one coming.
Got you. Yeah, so I think it was booked strong at the end, so that's cool.
Yeah, so I think the aftermath's going to be worth it. I think
we'll see what happens. Hopefully they deliver here, man. We need a good
hopefully so.
We need a good little tussle. But I did want to say I did want to talk about the Chris Jericho segment because I think that was somewhere near this part. So Chris Jericho come out, you know what I mean, and there's a lot I want to unpack on this, and we got about 9 minutes, but we can run it back. We definitely got to run it back because we got to talk about the main event. But Chris Jericho came out, his red little suit, and the thing about Jericho is nowadays is that he is so open and exposes the wrestling so much that it's just an act to me sometimes when I see him on promos, because I'm like, oh,
also very uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's just like.
He did that the very first episode of Dynamite.
What do you do?
I remember being on Twitter because that was when he was champion. Mm-hmm. He was champion on the first episode. And that's when he was that's when he had his Inner Circle. Was I don't know, maybe it was the first or second. It might have been the second.
I think it was the second because Sammy turned at the end on the first one.
Okay, so it's the second episode.
I hate that I know that.
Yeah, and like he cut a promo, and like there was because he was like presenting Jake Hager, and so people started doing "We the People" chants, which is like one of the worst fucking chants you can do.
We the people. Ooh, nowadays especially.
People. Yeah, and so Chris Jericho was like, that was a horrible gimmick by bad creative, and that's a shoot. And I'm like,
I forgot he said that part.
No,
I forgot he said that part. They cut out it's a shoot part. Yeah, I forgot he said that. And then he just did that. This promo you're talking about, it was just full of that. Dude, I hate.
That stuff makes me cringe so bad.
Bro, Dr. Britt Baker did that shit too when she was talking about Thunder Rosa. And it was like, that's a sandbag. Shut the fuck up. Nobody
and that's also not even a story anyone cares about anymore. Like that just proves that you're just online listening to like the most annoying people. And
it shows who they cater to or who they think about when they cater to. They think about like the internet people. Bro, you need to bring in this casual audience, bro. Y'all losing in the ratings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sandbag. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I hate that shit. I really hate that shit.
I hate when they peel back. I hate when they do that shit. It's just so corny.
Because a lot of that was one of the big reasons why they used to just protect the business in general, because it's like that wasn't like the important part. Like as far as it was about putting on the show, right? And I get it. Like, I think it's, to some degree, I think, it's important to be able to kind of know the reality of things for sure, 100%. But I think when it's like showtime, that's where we put those things aside and we enjoy the show.
There you go. Yeah. And we got to suspend our belief for, we are surrounded by the internet. So to suspend our disbelief for 2 hours, that's all we asking, just 2 hours. Yeah. If you want to go to the back after your match and say, I didn't really get hurt or some shit like that, or go on podcast, do that. But like, not on the fucking show. And that's just the wrestling fan in my heart saying that.
Doesn't it? It kind of defeats the purpose of the wrestling show.
And then how the fuck do you think the next people feel after they come out as like, oh, this shit's fake. And then the next people got to wrestling their ass off.
Yeah. It doesn't especially if you're trying to present it like, as, suspend your disbelief, constantly referring to how it's fake in the show is like so stupid. Like, why break the fourth wall that way constantly like that? I mean, I guess it's not even break. I don't know if it's the same thing as breaking the fourth wall, but I don't like it. I don't care for it. I don't care when wrestlers do that shit. And Chris Jericho did a lot of that shit.
But I wanted to say this too, man, about the promo. He called out, Eddie Kingston and how he's cool with Ruby Soho. Which I did not know. You might know more than me. I didn't know they were cool like that. But everybody's talking about the whole, the beat down on Ruby where she put her hands in the fucking car and it didn't look too good. I was like, no. But that, and then apparently like Ortiz or Santana, one of them's quitting and they don't like each other in real life. And like, what the fuck? So now you got this weird little 3-piece going at Jericho and they're going to have a barbed wire everywhere match. It's just so gimmick. Jericho is just so gimmicky, bro. Like,
and
he brought back the Painmaker.
Yeah, and there's a degree. Yeah, that's when like I hate the self-awareness he has now. Yeah. Because what happened is he kind of naturally built this legacy for himself where he just let the work do the talking. But then once fans started like giving him that reaction and like, praising, the work of Jericho and like his how he can, reinvent himself all these times, like that became an act then. Yeah, it stopped being just a natural thing.
It's not him reinventing. Reinventing is the gimmick. I don't like that.
Yeah, like that is the gimmick now. The character is and I think he knows that too, which is why he's doing the whole sports entertainer thing. Because now he also knows that. So like this is what he wants to. He's doing this like consciously. And I hate it. And I don't like it. And maybe that means I'm getting worked or whatever, but
you got me. You're fucking trash.
I guess
you
so.
got
True.
Me.
Oh, you got me. But
yeah, you fucking suck. Oh, you got me.
Wow, you're a heel. I'm booing you.
I don't like you, so it worked. God
but
damn.
No, I hate that shit. I hate it. He's like, I'm gonna be the Painmaker. His little shitty lipstick on his eyes.
Well, we got on his ass.
Think about that too. That's supposed to be how we know he is a totally different character. He's ruthless now because he wears the Juggalo makeup and he puts on the fedora and he becomes this vicious barbarian that thinks about nothing but brutality. because he was only the Painmaker because Okada was the Rainmaker.
Yeah, right.
And he needed to have a gimmick for that match.
Yeah, right.
And then somehow it became that's his hardcore
gimmick. Yeah,
his hardcore gimmick is the Painmaker.
Yeah, man. I don't know. He should have brought. It would have been cool if he brought back like Lionheart or some shit. Like that's when I'll be like, oh, okay, Jericho's cool. I remember he's cool.
Yeah, do a little nostalgia run.
Yeah, that should be like the last thing he does before he retires. He needs to bring back Lionheart one more time, bro. If you want to bring back goddamn Painmaker, what the fuck?
Yeah, I hate that shit. I hate those kind of promos. So after that, I think it might have been Jake Hager and Claudio.
Yeah.
I didn't. I mean, that match was what it was. I don't really fuck with Jake Hager, so
yeah, it
was cool. I like.
Sounds like you're a Jake hater. No,
I am a Jake hater of Jake Hager.
Yeah, Claudio looks good. In AEW.
I'm glad he's in AEW. Yeah, Claudio's cool. I'm glad he's with his friends,
yeah, pretty much.
That's really, he's out there with his friends doing the thing.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to talk about Claudio debut in AEW. I think it's a cool pickup. I don't buy him in the Blackpool Combat Club though.
Yeah, I was a little.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that took me back a little. I mean, I guess it makes sense in terms of like who he's with.
Yeah, he trained with John and shit.
Like he runs with that crew.
Yeah,
but like
doesn't seem like he fits like hard hitting fighting. He just don't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I see what you mean. Yeah, and I agree. I don't know if I quite like know what to like. I don't know if I quite can put my finger on like exactly why. Also, but like I kind of agree there. But it just seemed kind of strange because I don't want them to like get it like bloated and they just start bringing in. Yeah, just throwing in whoever.
Gonna be NWO again.
Yeah, you don't want
Bullet Club again.
Bullet Club. No, but I mean, because he's a tough wrestler, but like, yeah, in terms of like that really brutal, draw blood, like punches right to the fucking skull, like that kind of stuff.
You don't do that.
He never really did that. No,
he's just a strong.
He's really strong.
He's just a strong grappling dude, which is very athletic. That doesn't say you gotta bleed with me. Oh,
he doesn't like get horny for blood.
Yeah, what is that about? Yeah,
like, and I like the other two do. Like, well, I guess Yuta, they're trying to get Yuta there, and Yuta's,
even Yuta was kind of a stretch for me, but then he had that cool ass match with John, so that was cool.
And like he really took to it, I think, for sure. And because that was the point, also, was like to bring young guys in like that, and they could like mold them and to become those types of wrestlers because they saw that potential in them. So that's cool. And but like I don't see Claudio like talking about like how much blood turns him on and stuff, and it gets like real sexy for violence, you know what I mean? Yeah, real psychosexual shit, like like just kind of like that BDSM territory. I don't see Claudio being that kind of guy. So
it's a beautiful masterpiece. It's a beautiful
I felt like he should have just come in and like done his own thing and like be an associate, be in like kind of in collaboration with the Blackpool Combat Club.
Like
but I feel like he probably should have came in as Claudio Castagnoli and had his own thing. I don't think he needed to be a part of that, the Combat Club. I think it would have been cool. Like, here's my friend. He's going to be my replacement, not necessarily like in the club, but he's in a little boys club now. So he's one of them.
I wanted to take a little detour too and talk about the Bryan Danielson situation because it turns out he had came down with concussion, which is fucking terrible news, low key, and nobody's really talking about it enough because this is the reason why WWE told him, "Hey, your ass can't wrestle no more." And he passed the test and everything like that, and that's beautiful. But as a Daniel Bryan stan, Bryan Danielson, I said his motherfucking name wrong. But
you dead named him, man.
No, I'm sorry. I love AEW. But as a Bryan Danielson stan, bro, like it's like it sucks because he wrestled and it happened again. And this I hope this ain't it. But that's a
because he's never gonna compromise his style for health ever.
Oh yeah, for sure. No way.
Like you have to break his fucking neck before he's not because he's not gonna slow down. Like he really isn't.
You are now listening to Digital Suplex Radio.
100% like intensity and do that shit. And like that's the thing. He's not gonna, and he probably would be fine with it too. He'd probably be like, but then again, like he talks about like wanting to be there for his kid. It's like, man, you wrestle like that, man.
Shit.
That's the kind of wrestling you do when like you got nothing left to lose.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Like you're gonna have to kill me before I leave, okay? You're gonna have to take me down.
Just have her watch your best of, man. She should be there for a while. You know what I mean? She's watching your best of matches. That should keep her safe for a couple years. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, but you're right. I haven't heard people really talking about.
That's big. Daniel Bryan got a concussion. Like that's huge. If you know his history with head injuries, bro. Like that's the reason he was shelved. But I'm praying for him. Hopefully he's doing all right, man. Because he's one of the last few like wrestling ass wrestlers left.
Like, like a real pure wrestler.
Pure style wrestler. Like
honestly, if you want to do a callback to, the generation of people that were inspired by Chris Benoit, like look no fucking further.
It all comes around.
Look no fucking further than Bryan Danielson.
It all comes around. And maybe
uses the flying headbutt, uses the crossface, like
Maybe they get stocky, smaller size. Maybe they can do like a Civil War thing, Blackpool Combat Club, and a throwback to the ROH days, and have Daniel Bryan go for the pure title. Come on, bro. Ooh. Maybe, man. Anyway. I'm not the booker. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I don't know what else came after the Blackpool stuff. I mean, the Claudio stuff.
Serena Deeb, I think, wrestled.
You can skip that one. You can skip that. The reason I say that though is because it was kind of a nothing match. I don't know what they're building to, but I guess that's why you.
And that's how they booked the women's division.
Anna Jay,
they book it to make you not care, and that's
Jay Cargill.
I think she did a backstage thing. I think her and the baddies are back there. Stokely Hathaway was back there.
They look good.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, put them on.
Put them on. Yeah. Give them 10 minutes.
Yeah, give 10, 15. Whenever you want, whenever you're thinking about doing a really ridiculous self-referential Chris Jericho promo.
Bro, cut his ass.
Instead, don't do that. And put on Jade Cargill and the baddies. And let them do it.
Also, I'm all for Sunny Kiss in the baddies, bro.
Sunny Kiss put Sunny Kiss on TV.
On TV in general.
Bullshit. That guy's bullshit. Like, because during Pride Month, I don't know if we talked about this, but they had like a whole ass advertisement, celebrating Pride. And like they use Sunny Kiss, who they never put on TV.
That's some whole ass shit.
They never give her any good roles.
That's some whole ass shit.
Just stuck on like, YouTube. But whenever they want to exploit, having like a black queer wrestler.
Oh yeah, Sonny, what you doing?
Where are you at?
Catering.
We love you. Pride.
Catering. I'm right
we
around the backstage.
We are so proud of you.
Yeah.
That's that straight, corporations just
pandering a little bit,
exploiting people's identities so they can, look good.
Do you think that's why they have her employed, bro?
I don't. I mean, like they aren't. If not, they're not doing a good job of like making me think otherwise. I just follow the evidence. That's all I say. Just
where's the evidence? Give me some evidence.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, honestly, like you wonder because I mean, like even like because Nyla Rose is on, but even then, like I don't know. Yeah. I feel like they love touting. They love touting their stats of who they have, what identity they're from, what marginalized community they come from. And see, because like, when you just do that, like I can see through that shit. That's just bullshit. Like you're not about like the personhood and like what that person can really do as a worker and like what they really contribute and like what they bring to the table. It's all about these displays of these like signifiers that like we have it, and that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's bullshit. Yeah, but Sunny Kiss should absolutely 100%.
Speaking of baddies, let's talk about this horrible tag team match. I just thought it was awful. No, it's fucking.
Come on now.
All right, so
come on now.
All right, so look, check this out.
I mean, it shouldn't have been what it was.
It was great. It was great.
Right. Because when I saw it, when they were promoting it, I was like, okay, it'll just be what a good title defense for the Young Bucks. They're setting up for something else. You didn't see a title change coming.
Yeah, for sure. And because you think about the Young Bucks and FTR, they're teasing FTR Young Bucks 3, and you're thinking like, okay, this is just a match so they can pad their stats and get like another dub because
show everybody like dominant tag team champions, they can beat two teams,
And everybody's thinking like, it's gonna be FTR versus Young Bucks for all the titles at once, and so that way you can either get one or two teams holding all the belts at once, and that's gonna be a good visual. That's gonna be good for the tag team division, etc. Boy, they swerved our ass with this one.
They swerved it, didn't they? They gave us a huge swerve.
Yeah,
I've said it like 8 times now, and it's not getting old.
Do you get it? Yeah. So they had it was
this shit was awesome.
Yeah, no, it was a great match too. And this is what I talk about every time we dunk on the Young Bucks. Every fucking week we get on this show, and it's like, oh my god, they're so good. Oh, well, specifically Nick Jackson. I think Nick Jackson's the better one out of the both of them. But I think they were both doing their thing. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, it was great.
Team Taz was awesome too. Don't get me wrong.
Everyone was really good. Will Hobbs hit that big ass frog splash.
Yes.
He got some air on that one too.
These dudes are athletic as hell. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is what I think it all culminates. Like, you see a bunch of mix of styles in this one match as well. Power, wrestling, lots of high spots, which is, and honestly, let's be real, I think Keith Lee is a high spot wrestler. You don't have to do like all the flips and stuff like that, but just the fact that he's so big moving around, he makes moments out of his matches. You know what I mean? Like,
and he makes those. I think he makes those higher spots feel special because like I think there is like a gimmick within itself now of like the big guy who can move. I think I think a lot of times people really kind of overdo that one. I like Keith Lee because he makes like he really makes those moments mean something.
Yeah,
like he's probably only going to go over the ropes, not all the time.
Which is
he can do it. He can do it when he needs to do it.
When he needs to pull it out.
Yeah, and I thought it was awesome. All those false finishes. There were like 5 or 6 different times. I'm like, well, that's it. Holy shit! I'm like, because
Ricky Starks was
whenever they did like the the swerve stomp spirit bomb thing and that first one, I was like, oh my god, and then Young Bucks broke it up, like, god damn. And like it was just that for like 5 to 6 minutes of just back and forth, teams hitting their finishers.
And you know what that means? That means the crowd believed that any of these teams could win.
That's
so they
smart.
did a good job with booking. They did a good job
because at that point it became like you're not going to be upset because the way that this is all ending is going to be exciting. It's gonna rock. And that's what you want wrestling to feel like. You want to do that, and that's why we want to suspend our disbelief. Like we want the illusion of a good of that big fight. You know what I mean? Because we want that drama, we want that storytelling, we want that feeling. And when wrestling when it gives that to you, it fucking gives it to you. And no, I was so fucking amped. And whenever, because the sequence really was, it was, they all went out to the outside. Keith, Swerve did the moonsault off the chest, and then I think Keith Lee went in and then dove out of the ring
on all four.
And then and then I think Starks was left in the ring, and then Swerve capitalized, got on top, Swerve stomp.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Everybody was standing hands in the air, yo.
Holy shit, yeah.
Yeah, and
I wasn't expecting that, man. I thought it was just going to be like, oh, this is going to be a good 3-way tag. It's going to, they're going to give the Bucks, so they can get some wins in between there because they just won the titles, didn't they?
They did, I think 2 weeks ago. When did Jeff Hardy get arrested?
It was not long ago.
Yeah.
That they won, because they beat, was it at Double or Nothing?
I think so.
I guess it's been almost 2 months. I don't know.
Maybe 2 months, something like that. But it's quick, fairly quick for a Young Bucks reign.
It felt really quick. But then everyone had to be a downer. I'm like, this just means they're gonna lose to FTR now. Y'all know them. Like, hey, shut up. Give me this.
Yeah, just let us have this one because first of all, shout out, thank you. First of all, this is why, and I hate this. I feel dirty saying this, but this is why I love AEW. I don't want to say love. This is why I like AEW. This is why I like AEW. This is why
you can appreciate AEW.
This is why I can appreciate AEW because it keeps you on the edge of your seat, and they'll do something that goes off the traditional wrestling path. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, 2 black dudes champion. That's awesome. Finally, Tony. Appreciate that. And then in addition to that, I know you a big fan of Swerve.
I love
Swerve's
Swerve,
cool.
yeah.
I like Swerve, but Keith Lee. This is Keith Lee. He's had a lot of hate coming into AEW. And people been talking a lot of shit about Keith Lee because, he's on Rampage now. Oh, he should have just stayed with WWE. He should have just.
I think they were talking shit because he looked bigger or something. Like they were, doing a lot of body shaming and stuff too. I'm like, man, fuck you.
yeah, but shut the hell up. Yeah, say that to his face, bro. That's just that internet talk. But to finally give Keith Lee a crowning moment, I'm glad he got some gold in AEW. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because he main events Dynamite and gets that kind of ovation.
Yeah. This looks great. And Tony Khan isn't like, it's not like Vince McMahon where it's like, I hope Vince saw that. Do you think Vince? No, Tony Khan was like down there shaking Keith and Swerve hand. I don't know if you saw that behind the scenes thing. He was like down there with it.
Yeah, like he was like on like on the block at the like on the ring, like
he was like laying in a prone position, like, hey guy, good job, bro.
Yeah, he's very expressive with his wrestlers, which
which is cool. That's the least you could do, fucking billionaire. But yeah, man, awesome main event. That was cool. Fyter Fest. We'll always remember Fyter Fest 2022 because Swerve in Our Glory, which they need to work on that name.
Swerve in Our Glory, Limitless Swerve, whatever.
I like Limitless Swerve.
What do they call him? I like Limitless Swerve.
Swerve in Our Glory. It just seems like, let's just go with that. It
seems contradicting. I don't know why, but like, I don't know, like.
Swerve and like avoid the glory. No, I don't want to be. You know what I mean.
You don't want to overanalyze it too much.
Yeah.
But if they would have gone with what I thought was cooler, I would have been happy.
Yeah, that's what made it better.
They should have gone with what I wanted. That's that's a takeaway here. It was great. I loved it. Yeah, and when you think about where Keith Lee has been with like everything he went through in WWE, because like when they brought him into NXT, it took forever to really get Keith Lee like that spot for whatever, because they brought him in like, they did because there was that era of takeovers. They bring in like a big indie name, they'd have him like sit at takeover and like, oh look who's at the front row, oh shit, you're coming. Days. Like that was always a cool little era, and he was one of those wrestlers that did that. And it seemed like it took, even like after that moment, like it took fucking ever for like Keith Lee to really get some momentum there, for him to really get him some spots, and like he finally got it towards the end of NXT, and then like it was really quick because like he won it, and then it kind of just ended, and then like he went to the main roster, and we all know how that ended. And to see that all the shit that was being talked about him, and then when he came to AEW, like people still weren't fucking happy. They were like, well, what's he gonna, oh no, he's just on a tag team on Dark. I'm like, that's not the same thing as main event or whatever on WWE. They're not comparable.
Thank you.
Two different things.
Why do people, if it's not the show that's first of the week, people just think it's just, oh, well, it means it's just,
because they got that WWE brain. Like they are completely poisoned by the way WWE like books things. Like it's not the same. Like Rampage. Like it had its own problems that need to be addressed, but like you can't compare it to like a random episode of like Velocity in 2004 or something.
Fucking Velocity, boy. Remember Velocity, bro?
The dark SmackDown matches.
Sheesh, boy, ain't nobody. Boy, they people still coming to find their seat. Is this my seat? Who the fuck? John Cena?
Oh, it's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right, yeah. Everybody getting their nachos. Hey, y'all, I think they got the nacho stand.
Here's a Mark Jindrak match.
Mark Jindrak looking ass. Here's a Daniel Bryan match. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, Brian Kendrick versus Daniel Bryan shit. But yeah.
No, it was good. It was a good Dynamite. It was a great Dynamite, I think.
Keep it up, man. Keep it up. Oh wait, I can't wait for that barbed wire bullshit match.
Barbed wire everywhere. Oh, man.
What the fuck?
And the thing is, it's like Eddie Kingston's not that kind of a wrestler, because Eddie Kingston's like old school, like All Japan. Like he's like he's very much like, I just kick ass, and that's my character. Like I'm from New York and I kick ass.
I think because of his body type and like attire, they're trying to make him like a hardcore guy when he's not really a hardcore guy. I can see it though, but that's not.
Because just in terms of like the aggression and like the rage and like kind of that attitude, for sure he can do it because he's good. Like he's a good storyteller. Like he's really good. But it's just because he's that King's Road pure technical, like in some ways like Blackpool Combat Club style wrestling.
Yeah, what the fuck? Yeah, why go and throw him?
But he's got that brawler sense, because like his favorite wrestler's Kenta Kobashi, so like and like his ring gear is like based off of Kawada, another All Japan four pillars. Like he's an All Japan nerd
for real, for sure.
And that's kind of how he goes. But no, it was good Dynamite. There was some bullshit like there always is, and to what you were saying earlier, like, because you were like kind of hesitant to be like, I love AEW. Like, I'll say this, like, here's what I can say is like, they're the only like major promotion. I mean, I don't really watch Impact, so I can't speak for that. And if you want to call them major, I don't know, because they have a lot of good wrestlers, but whatever.
That's a whole
in terms of like the big mainstream like wrestling companies, AEW is willing to try something different and try something new. Does it always work? No. Are there a lot of problems? Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, but like at the end of the day, they're gonna try to like do something different, to do something memorable, and like it makes people kind of want to watch it week to week, or at least keep up with it, mostly because there's probably going to be something new that maybe you didn't think about, or like there's a new type of matchup, or like they're gonna try something different that you're not gonna see what you typically would see like in regular like mainstream weekly wrestling television. And so it's worth like checking out, because for all their faults, which are many, they're always like they try at least to push wrestling forward, I think, in some way. And so like I can appreciate that. I can respect that a lot.
Yeah, man. So I thought Fyter Fest was dope. I can't wait to see what they do next week.
I can't even. Are they even announced matches for next week? They have, right?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
I don't know. The barbed wire. That's all you need. The barbed wire.
Is that the one?
Barbed wire fuck match.
Barbed wire everywhere.
Yeah.
Barbed wire fuckery.
Yeah. Football field fuckery. Jim, he's a goddamn asshole, boy. But yeah, man. That's all I had, Shane. Do you have anything else?
Yeah.
WWE might be going TV 14.
I saw that. Yeah, because right it was being announced like it was like official, but then they're like, oh no, it's not official yet. But
yeah, so I'm like, okay, then shut the fuck up then. Then why the fuck?
And like it honestly, like this doesn't really mean anything.
That doesn't mean anything either.
It doesn't mean shit. It's not like they're not gonna get on next week and be like, fuckity fuck. I'm like, what do you think's gonna fucking happen? Like,
they just open up with a bare ass. Oh, you like that? Remember this? Yeah. They Kiss My Ass Club. That was sexual assault on live TV, by the way. But anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, okay.
Not the worst thing they've done on live television.
I wanted some evidence. Give me some evidence.
I'll say evidence falling from the fucking rafters. There's your goddamn evidence.
Anyway, but that's all I had, y'all. We back. We took a little break, but we back. We're gonna try to come back with some more podcasts. Give our takes on the wrestling news and events and shows going on. More wrestling interviews coming soon too. I just gotta actually hit people up.
Let's go.
Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. That's where we're gonna be at.
Coming up, Daily Ooze, they're doing their show in Dallas, August 13th. You could probably plug that.
Man, August 13th. What's it called again?
It's I
hate to put you on. I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
It's that same. No, it's that same. Like the same people that they get the black on four sides.
Okay.
There's some good people on that card too. Like us, Brian Keats on there.
There you go.
Saw some other good names. So that's
on the 14th.
August 13th.
August 13th. And I might pop out.
Yeah. So I mean, we could probably see if we can maybe talk about that coming up.
Yeah. Okay.
Right on.
So some local shows for y'all. But anyway,
on the ground reporting.
Yeah, we're here live at shit. Just get fucking
hit up the media scrum afterwards. It's just us.
It's just us. hey Roman. Darion, you don't have to yell. It's just you here, Roman.
Chill.
Anyway, anyways, bro, it's been me, Darion. It's been Shane. Another action-packed episode. We showed you the evidence. Now it's time for you guys to leave. We'll see y'all later.
There you go. See ya.